Gold, precious metals. This is the Moniology on Markets Precious Metals Review, October 28, 2018. Overall, precious metals got shellacked last week, even though they appear to be starting a reasonable bottom here and at least a bounce. But this last week was not the best of signs. We had shooting star candles in just about every pattern here. So let's see how the next couple of days present themselves, but I still want to show you the longer term picture, and so here goes a weekly perspective on what's going on in the precious metal space. I'm going to show you some of the top names and some of the names with some of the strongest momentum, so that if and when the sector does turn around, these are names to really keep an eye on. So starting with the metal itself, here's a weekly perspective. You see that we broke out of this channel here and we've rallied so far. We're above the middle Bollinger Band, and although we've had a little bit of struggle breaking above that 1250, 1260 area, you've got a lot of indicators there that are suggesting that this is just the beginning of the move. There's strong momentum here. We're slightly below the 50 RSI, which may turn out to be a resistance line here, but at the same time, this could be a very good point to consolidate for a little bit before moving higher. I like gold in the long run, and I think that this bottom is indeed a long-lasting one. I don't think we're going to break back below 1200, but in trading and investing, anything is indeed possible. Platinum is is a metal that's really been killed over the last couple of years, but it's shown signs of life. It broke out against gold from a monthly perspective earlier this year. It broke out of its long-term downtrend in 2018. And it's frankly consolidating here above the middle Bollinger Band. So it's struggling right now to break above the 50 RSI zone, which makes sense, but at the same time it's consolidating here above this breakout point, and I think eventually it does break out. I want to see it break above 900 an ounce before calling this a start of a new bull market. Silver has been the weakest metal, and really what you want to see is you want to see silver break out against gold, and it hasn't done that yet. So that's really probably the worst sign that I've been seeing in all of my long-term charting. But I will say there are some positive signs. Look at PPO. It looks to be on the verge of breaking out above zero on the weekly, and frankly, it closed the week slightly above zero. It closed above this downtrend that we've started since July. It's consolidating here with positive momentum, and it looks ready to run, but it needs to break out above 16 before, and above this downtrend before I call this renewed bull market. Sorry about that, fellas. Anyway, so I think that this breaks out above 16 in the coming months, but we'll see how long before it can actually do so. So here's the majors against the actual metal itself. You want to see the miners outperform the metal in any renewed bull market. Well, we were just about ready to break out above on PPO here, and sure enough, last week was not a good one as we rolled back below zero. So let's see if we might actually have a multi-week pullback, or is this just a blip and we go back higher? So I'm keeping a very close eye on this one. I will point out that 50 RSI served as resistance, and it typically does. This particular ratio right here is where we've seen a lot of resistance between these two indices, so I want to see this break above before again confirming that a bull market is in play. Gold Bugs Index HUI, here's another perspective. We found support at this 140 level, which served as resistance in past, and so no surprise that we found support here. But at the same time, the last time we broke down around 180 was around this area right about here, which is at the 50. We couldn't break above, and sure enough, we couldn't break above this time around. So is 140 going to hold? So far, we've got positive momentum, positive divergence, and so I expect it to hold. But at the same time, if this doesn't hold, I can see us heading lower to 120, building positive divergence, and then breaking higher once again. Here are the majors, GDX. Here's the downtrend that we broke out of In 2017, we've been basically consolidating, and we retested from the upside here successfully so far. Let's see what happens. Again, 50 RSI, that last point of breakdown is now serving as resistance. It might take a couple of weeks, but I think we'll eventually break out higher. But again, we've got the middle Bollinger Band, the 50-week and the 200-week moving average serving as resistance. PPO is above 0, so that's a positive sign. Let's see what happens. The juniors, well, the juniors are acting very similar. You had the shooting star pattern. We closed the week above 0 on the PPO, but we couldn't close the week above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-week moving average. So we want to break above 30 to confirm a new uptrend, and we haven't done so yet. Okay, here are some of the names that look strong. Yes, they pulled back a lot in the last week, many of them, but at the same time, they're showing a lot of positive strength in a market that's been very, very weak of late. So this is LMDM Minerals. It's in a downtrend to be sure, but it's showing some positive divergence. It's showing positive momentum here. We're at closed at 58, but momentum here is higher than when we were at 69 and even at 80. So I expect this, if we can break above this downtrend, that this can have a very strong rally. There seems to be something happening in the company that's creating a lot of buying pressure here at the bottom. B2 Gold Corp, BTG, another one that's been broke out of this downtrend of momentum here that it's been in 2018, and we had a double bottom with positive divergence, and now we've rallied. We're above the middle Bollinger Band. Sure, we had a pullback shooting star pattern here, but at the same time, I expect this to consolidate, and this can be one of the stronger names in a resumed bull market. 375 is the first real long-term resistance level. Comstock Mining, this is one for those penny stock degenerates. I mean, this one has been killed for a long, long time, and frankly, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. However, I do want to show for educational purposes what's happening here. It is creating multiple new bottoms, yes, but it's creating multiple diverging highs in momentum, and now we broke out of this downtrend since 2018, and so long as this downtrend holds from the upside, I expect this to test this particular downtrend in the coming weeks. So there is upside here, but again, do your due diligence. I know nothing about the fundamentals of this company. DRD Gold, another one that broke out above its downtrend, and that's a very powerful breakout so far. We are above the 50 RSI, and so this is, and look at the positive accumulation here. So something's happening with this company. It's very, very positive, and this should, I expect that this can rally all the way to that 9 level when the bull market resumes. First Majestic Silver, another one that's been hit pretty hard, but it's been showing positive divergence, double bottom in price, at slight divergence in momentum, and we've so far found support. We've pulled back quite a bit off the 50 RSI level. Let's see what happens around that 38-40 level of RSI, and if we retest the 5 level, is it going to find support here? Look at PPO curling, ready to break above 0. Fields GFI, another one that's been whacked, and another one that's finding resistance at the point of breakdown at 350 right over here. We broke down at this RSI level. Well, we're finding resistance around this area again. We broke out above it. Now we're retesting it from the upside. I like this. I think this is going to head back to 4 in the coming weeks, but with a stop loss below 250, this is a fairly nice risk reward here. Golden Minerals AUMN, another one of these that's been getting killed. It's found support here at the 20-cent level, which coincides with the level of breakout last time around in 2016. So there is some buying coming in at this level. You got PPO breaking above 0, and you see momentum building, positive breakout here. That's a very good sign. I see this heading back to 40 cents in a short-term trade. If this can hold 40-cent level, this can go much higher in a resumed bull market. Gold mining, GLDLF, one that I really like, and this one is starting to build a very nice bottom here, rounded bottom. It's got very positive divergence. Notice over here we're much higher today at 36 than when price was much higher, even at 97. So something's happening here. You got PPO breaking above zero. I really like this name. The fundamentals of this company are good. And for full disclosure, we do own shares in this company, so keep that in mind as you're making your assessment, but please do your due diligence on all these names. Harmony Gold Mining, HMY, another one that's been building stair-step positive momentum here. So that's what I want to see, and this one will see $3, if not higher, as the bull market resumes in the coming months in the precious metal sector. You got PPO above zero, so I like what's happening here. We are pulling back a little bit, but if 50 RSI holds, this is a name that you want to be long in. International Tower Hill Mines, THM, another one that's hasn't done much since 2016, but it's showing some positive momentum. It's above the 50 RSI. Of the 100 plus names that are on my watch list, this and DRD are one of the few that are actually above 50 RSI level right now. So it is showing positive strength. It is above the 50-week moving average, and so if this holds that 50 level, I expect this to break the 70 level in the not too distant future, and ultimately retest that 140 marker not so distant future. MacEwan Mining MUX, another one that has a very nice looking chart, similar to DRD, broke the downtrend. Now it's retested it. And now we found some resistance here at the 250 level. You notice that the 61 level of RSI served as resistance. No surprise there. But at the same time, I expect this 250 level to be broken, and that's really your buy point. If you don't own it, 250 is the buy point, and I think that if it can hold this downtrend breakout, I think that this is ultimately going to resolve to the upside. A couple more names here, guys. Sandstrom Gold, SAND. It's trying to build a bottom here. It is, and it's building positive momentum, but we've kind of pulled back here at the 50 RSI level. I expect some more consolidation and an ultimate breakout above to make a run towards 5, ultimately 6 and 7 level. Seabridge Gold, SA. This has been one of the strongest names in the sector, and it's finally broke out above that $12 zone, and I said in previous videos, if it can break above $12, it's going to head to 16, and sure enough, we almost tested 16. We're pulling back some, but frankly, I think this is a great buy point. Might retest that 12 area. I think ultimately it breaks 16, and it goes much higher. That 70 RSI zone is what served as resistance. That's where we broke down last time around in middle of 2016. No surprise it's serving as that resistance, but ultimately I think that it's going to find some support here and move higher. Finally, the last on this list is Sabina Gold SBGL. This is one that's been really strongly hit over the last couple of years, but it has accumulated a lot of very positive assets in especially in the palladium space, which has been doing very well, but it has a lot of debt, so do your due diligence. But notice this downtrend, it broke it right about here, and now it's also one of the names that's broke above the 50 RSI level. Now it's pulled back some, so there might be an opportunity. It might pull back all the way to the 250 level if the metals do pull back. But at the same time, if this can break above that 4 level, this is one of those stocks that has the makings of a $20 stock should the metals market resume in the bullish direction. So keep a close eye on this one. It's kind of got this inverse head and shoulders. We might make another shoulder here and then ultimately break higher, but I really like the fundamentals of this particular name. Anyway, guys, a lot of things to think about in the precious metal space. Ultimately, we might see a couple weeks of pullback. We might see another rally here. This is a pretty volatile time in the market, so but a lot of opportunities, and I think we're on the verge of a very strong bull market in the precious metal space. Good luck. Have a great week.